Baiklah Bapak Ibu, Prof. Supriyadi mohon izin, apakah sudah
Ya,
bisa kita mulai?
siap. Siap. Siap, Pak.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Selamat pagi, kami haturkan dan selamat datang kepada seluruh peserta yang telah hadir dalam mengikuti kegiatan di pagi hari ini. Yang pertama-tama, marilah kita panjatkan puja dan puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, yang telah mempertemukan kita pada pagi hari ini di dalam kegiatan dosen tamu program studi penelitian dan evaluasi pendidikan tahun 2021. Pertama-tama yang kami hormati, yang terhormat Direktur Pascasarjana Universitas Negeri Semarang, Wakil Direktur Bidang Akademik dan Mahasiswaan Pascasarjana Universitas Negeri Semarang, Wakil Direktur Bidang Umum dan Keuangan Pascasarjana Universitas Negeri Semarang, Koordinator Program Studi Penelitian dan Evaluasi Pendidikan, dan seluruh koordinator program studi di lingkungan Pascasarjana Universitas Negeri Semarang. Turut pula yang kami banggakan dan yang kami hormati, seluruh dosen dan mahasiswa yang telah hadir dalam kegiatan dosen tamu program studi penelitian dan evaluasi pendidikan tahun 2021 Pascasarjana Universitas Negeri Semarang. Izinkan saya, Arta Mahindra Diputra, MPD, akan bertindak selaku pembawa acara. Baiklah Bapak Ibu, sebelum kita akan memasuki pada kegiatan yang utama, kita akan kedatangan dosen tamu yang berasal dari Thailand. Siapakah beliau? Nanti akan dipandu oleh Bapak Febri Dani MPD, sehingga mohon untuk dapat ditunggu kehadiran dosen tamu kita. Kita akan banyak mempelajari ataupun kita akan mendapatkan berbagai materi tentang penilaian pendidikan di masa pandemi COVID-19. Baiklah Bapak Ibu, yang pertama kita akan berikan kesempatan kepada Koordinator Program Studi Penelitian dan Evaluasi Pendidikan untuk dapat memberikan sambutan dan membuka kegiatan pada pagi hari ini. Kepada Profesor Dr. Supriyadi MSI, waktu dan kesempatan kami berikan dengan hormat.
Terima kasih, Mas Hatta. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang saya hormati Direktur Pascasarjana, Profesor Dr. Agus yang saya hormati narasumber kuliah tamu hari ini, Asok Prof. Dr. Songkak Ucheon. Beliau adalah dari masyarakat University Thailand. Di tengah-tengah kesibukan beliau masih berkenan menyediakan waktu untuk kita untuk berbagi pengalaman. Jadi nanti mohon berikan maaf kalau waktu yang disediakan tidak terlalu banyak. Jadi antara jam 9 sampai jam 10.30. Dan yang saya hormati Wakil Direktur Bidang Akademik dan Kemahasiswaan, Prof. Kuliah, kemudian Wakil Direktur Bidang Umum dan Keuangan, Bapak Dr. Eko Handoyo MSI, kemudian Bapak Ibu Prodi S2 S3 yang berkesempatan hadir di kesempatan pagi ini, dan tak lupa adalah Ketua Gugus MBKM Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka Pascasarjana, yaitu Profesor Dr. Edi Cahyono, kemudian Bapak Ibu dosen dan mahasiswa S2 S3 yang berbahagia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Marilah teman-teman kita panjatkan puji syukur kepada Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala yang pada hari ini kita masih diberi kesehatan dan kesempatan bertemu sehingga kita dapat melaksanakan kegiatan di pagi hari ini. Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, kegiatan kuliah tamu ini dapat berlangsung atas dukungan berbagai pihak, baik dari pihak pengelola, teman-teman Prodi di S2, kemudian juga jangan lupa saya ucapkan terima kasih pada alumni PEP yang sudah menyiapkan dan menghubungi narasumber untuk kegiatan kali ini. Kemudian topik yang akan disampaikan pada hari ini masih relevan dengan kegiatan yang akan kita lakukan, yaitu assessment di musim pandemi. Kita tentunya akan mendapatkan pencerahan karena yang menyampaikan nanti adalah dari Thailand. Saya kira hal yang sama tapi dari kacamata yang berbeda. Jadi nanti diharapkan adanya share pengalaman dari Prof. Songkat kepada peserta kuliah tamu ini. Kemudian berkaitan dengan MBKM, ya, kampus Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka ini adalah yang sedang digaungkan yaitu di tingkat sarjana. Namun demikian di tingkat pascasarjana, alhamdulillah kemarin sudah berlangsung forum pimpinan fakultas pascasarjana yang dilaksanakan pada tanggal 19 Oktober, jadi kira minggu ini, dan alhamdulillah sudah ada rekomendasi bahwa akan dilaksanakan kegiatan MBKM ini di pasca sarjana. Kita tunggu nanti implementasinya bagaimana di waktu mendatang. Kemudian untuk rintisan MBKM, terutama khususnya di fakultas terutama di pascasarjana, kita juga sudah menyiapkan kegiatan-kegiatan yang akan dilaksanakan beberapa prodi sampai akhir penghujung tahun ini. Jadi ada beberapa kegiatan yang utamanya ada berfokus pada mahasiswa, apakah itu pelatihan, kemudian juga nanti ada kuliah tamu, ya tentunya berbagai kegiatan akan dilaksanakan. Semoga bisa terlaksana sampai akhir tahun ini. Saya kira itu yang bisa sampaikan pada kesempatan pagi hari ini. Mohon maaf sekiranya ada hal yang kurang berkenan pada saat kami menyiapkan maupun pada saat kegiatan ini. Semuanya itu adalah di luar kemampuan kami. Saya kira itu saya membuka secara resmi kegiatan kuliah tamu ini dengan sumber Asok Prof. Dr. Songkat Nuksikon dari Masyarakat University. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kami ucapkan terima kasih atas sambutan dan pembukaan dari Profesor Dr. Supriyadi MSI selaku Koordinator Program Studi Penelitian dan Evaluasi Pendidikan Pasca Sarjana Universitas Negeri Semarang. Baiklah, Bapak Ibu, kami rencanakan bahwa untuk pemaparan materi dari dosen tamu kita akan dimulai pukul 9 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat. Mungkin kita sapa terlebih dahulu untuk moderator kita pada hari ini, yaitu Bapak Febri Dani MPD. Selamat pagi, Bapak Febri Dani.
Ya, selamat pagi Mas Arta. Terima kasih
Bagaimana
atas
kabarnya?
waktunya. Baik Mas Arta.
Baik ya. Untuk dosen tamu kita, apakah sudah hadir, Pak Febri?
Sepertinya belum.
Oh, belum ya. Baik. Mungkin mungkin nanti kita tunggu sejenak karena kita sudah menginformasikan kepada dosen tamu kita ya, nanti tepat pukul 9 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat ya.
Iya.
Baiklah Bapak Ibu, mungkin kita akan sedikit bertegur sapa terlebih dahulu karena mungkin kegiatan kita ini melalui chat Zoom seperti ini. Chat Zoom seperti ini mungkin kurang begitu terasa dekat gitu ya. Mungkin kita perlu untuk membacakan CV dari dosen tamu kita saat ini atau nanti saja Pak?
Nanti saja Mas.
Nanti saja.
Kalau Prof. Songsaknya sudah hadir. Gitu.
Oh ya, baik terima kasih. Kalau begitu mungkin kita mungkin bisa saling bertegur sapa ya dengan peserta. Dan mungkin saya terlebih dahulu akan memperkenalkan diri bahwa nama saya Arta Mahendra Putra. Saya adalah alumni dari program studi PEP atau Penelitian dan Evaluasi Pendidikan Pasca Sarjana Universitas Negeri Semarang. Saya lulus tahun 2018 dan saat ini saya berdinas di Universitas Negeri Medan. Sehingga walaupun saya sekarang cukup jauh dari Semarang, namun masih terasa dekat karena masih terasa kental sekali ikatan ataupun rasa bahwa saya memiliki pasca sarjana Universitas Negeri Semarang. Baik Pak Febri, nanti mohon informasikan apabila dosen tamu kita sudah hadir ya.
Iya, baik Mas Arta.
Baik. Di sini pun sudah banyak hadir para dosen di lingkungan pasca Universitas Negeri Semarang seperti Prof.
Permisi Mas Arta,
ya?
Untuk Profesor Songsak ini sudah masuk?
Oh sudah masuk, baiklah kalau begitu Bapak Ibu sekalian, mungkin langsung saja kita akan masuk ke dalam kegiatan utama pada kegiatan ini. Untuk itu akan saya alihkan kepada Bapak Febri Dani MPD untuk dapat memandu. Kami persilakan.
Ya, terima kasih waktunya. Bapak Ibu sekalian, sekarang Profesor Songsak sudah hadir di Zoom meeting pada hari ini. Mari kita bersama-sama sambut sebagai keynote speaker kita pada hari ini. A warm welcome, Profesor Songsak. And thank you for your time today. All right, Profesor Songsak. Welcome, Profesor Songsak.
Yes. Good morning. Wait for a minute, please. Let me check about my iPad. Just a few minutes.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yes, just for 2 minutes, please. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your time today, sir. I'm Febri Dani as moderator for today. And now let me read briefly about Professor Songsak that will be our keynote speaker. Associate Professor Dr. Songsak Busiorn, born in Chayapum, Thailand, June 11, 1974. Have master degree of education degree in educational measurement in Mahasarakam University, Thailand. And Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Research and Evaluation in Naseruan University, Pisanulok, Thailand. Professor Songsak served as lecturer in Department of Educational Research and Development, Faculty of Education, Mahasarakam University, Thailand. Also, the head of program of both MED and PhD in Educational Research and Evaluation. Professor Songsak also served as director in Research Clinic and the Center for Academic Services and Educational Innovation Dissemination. Professor Songsak wrote of total 6 books that focuses on educational research and evaluation and data analysis. Some of the Professor Songsak research articles such as confirmatory factor analysis practice level and guidelines for developing teacher performance standards and conduct standards, and the effect of innovation management on school performance of secondary school in Thailand, and many more. That was a brief about Professor Songsak profile and background, which now we all know that he is a definite expert in assessment as for today's topic. Now, Professor Songsak, the time is yours.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Especially, yes, Professor Dr. Supriyadi, yes, and my colleagues, and also students here. So on behalf of the Faculty of Education, Mahasarakham University, I would like to say thank you so much for inviting me to join with your academic agenda today. I'm really happy to sharing with you, right? Right now, all of you is lecturer, right? Lecturer and student, right?
Yes, Professor Songsak.
Yes,
They are students and lecturers.
Thank you so much. So the topic that we have to discuss today is about the challenge of educational assessment in COVID-19 situation in the context of Thailand, right? I have to share my presentation.
Sarta, bisa di-share?
Can I share my presentation, please? The host.
Yes. Yes, wait a minute, sir.
Yeah. Can I share myself, please?
Yes, you can, because I already set you as a co-host on this event.
Because it's sure about the only the host can share in this meeting.
I already set you as a co-host, and then you can share it by yourself. Please just click the share screen button on the middle of the.
But now I am not a co-host right now, so I cannot to share.
I already set you as a co-host, Professor Songsak.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to just click a share screen button on the middle of the screen, on the bottom.
Could you click for me for a co-host again, please? Because it's only the host share.
Oh, you have to device. Okay, I will set.
Yes, I have to. Yes.
Yes. Okay. the two device already.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for inviting me again. So I think it's very good time for sharing. So the last week I had to talk to Professor Dr. Supriyadi and his colleagues to planning about to work together in the future. I think it's very good thing. Yeah, both university, right? Because we are the same area about educational research and evaluation. So I think we have the many activity to do together, right? To sharing idea, to staff exchange, to student exchange for the future. And I think it's the simply right now is for yes we can to do activity together online is very simple and convenience. I think we will to talk about this activity later, right? So today, I will talk about challenge in educational assessment in COVID-19 situation, the context of Thailand. Because nowadays for our world, I think it's not only Thai, Indonesia, but also
Excuse me, Professor Songsak, we cannot hear your voices. Is there any problem?
about for the learnings, about for everything is changing. We have some problems. And we try to find the way for fix these problems, but depend on the context, right? But I don't know about the Indonesia context, but I will to tell you to talk about my country, about the context of Thailand, right? To solving this problem, especially for we are the educator to plannings for the learning management of our students, right? It have many problems. Yes, if I ask to you, when you design the learning management to your student, which method is the best in this situation? It's very hard for answer, right? It's very hard because we cannot to choose one for all. It's one for all. It's not good because it's difference. So it's different context. It's sure about the different teaching method. It's different about the how to assessment also, right? So today I will talk about this one. Let me check it. Okay. Today I just talk. It's not lecture. If you have some question you want to discuss with me, you can to tell me to discussion, right? I will talk about the impact of COVID-19, how to learning management, how to educational assessment, and also finally the conclusion and to discussion. Okay, you know about nowadays is the impact of COVID-19 that makes a problem, a big problems, right? It's for everyone in the world. It nears 2 years. My university is closed, right? Nobody there is silent. Last years ago, I never meet my student about master degree, doctoral degree student. I never meet them. We just have an online learning only. Right now, they are finished for the coursework. And right now they try to planning to do a thesis. I never meet them because it's COVID-19. So everything is changing. Everything is changed. So for Thailand, nowadays, a new case of COVID-19, it may be around 10,000 per days. And the news death of the people about nearly 100 people per day. So it's a lot. It's a risk to go outside, right? So we have to changing everything. We are educator. We have to planning how to learning management that have a high efficiency, how to measure, how to assessment our student, right? It's changing. Okay. Yes, when you look at this one, I think all you understand about this one for educated OLE or OLA model. right? This one is sure about when you planning to learning management of your student. We starting here about the objective, like, or goal setting. You have to setting your goal first. If you teach about you are a mathematics teacher, you are a science teacher, English teacher, you have to know about your goal. After you finish your lesson, after you finish your course, what happened in your student, right? What output about their knowledge, their attitude, their skill, something like that. Yes, if the objective or the goal setting is not clear, it make a problem for learning and assessment also, right? So we have to setting this one is clearly objective. Yes, in the objective, it show you in the curriculum, right? Curriculum. It's curriculum. You will to study about the curriculum. It show you about the output or the goal setting, right? But you have in many way, you have to many way to go to the target. So after that, it's clearly about the objective. You have to concern about the learning management, right? This one. When you study in bachelor degree, yes, you study a lot about a teaching method, right? How about these teaching methods is suitable for this context? The teaching method is suitable for this context, something like that, right? So you have many methods for learning management. It's depending on the context, right? This one. This keyword is very important for the context, right? You are a teacher. You teach your student. You have to know about information about their about the student first, right? How many students in your class? How about their basic knowledge? How about infrastructure? How about the culture? How about the many things? It's context, right? And you choose the best one that you think it can help them to achieve according the objectives in the curriculum, right? But maybe sometimes it's hard to use one for all, right? It's really hard to use one for all. So you have to concern about how to help all of them to achieve, right? And this situation is COVID-19. It's very hard for planning, right? You know, from the past, I don't interested about the online learning. So the Zoom application, so Google Meet have for a long time, right? But we don't too concerned, we don't too interested because it's the need. I just teach them on site, right? In the traditional way, it's okay. They have achievement, right? It's the yes, they it's okay, everything. But right now, we can't to reject the online learning. We have to learn more how to use online learning for efficiency, high efficiency, right? Because the context is changing. So you have to change in the learning management also, right? If you planning for learning management, and finally you have to assess them, right? Is achieved or not? They have achievement, they have a knowledge or not? They have a positive attitude or not? How about that skill? It's depend on the objective that you setting first, right? But when you measure, you have to look at here, right? You want to help them to achieve according to objectives in the curriculum. So nowadays, so this learning management is changing. So assessment is changing also, right? So our area is about evaluation, about assessment. We know about, we have a many way. It's many methods for assessment your student, right? It's formative. You know about the objective of formative assessment. You know about the objective of summative assessment. For what, right? Yes, this one is okay. Right now you know about the curriculum. Yes, today I will focus on about the basic education. We can't have a big problem, right? Just for a higher education, I think it's okay. For higher education, I mean in the university, it's okay. For infrastructure, it's okay. It's okay for the learner, it's adults. They can to take care themselves. They can self-learning as well, right? Everything is okay. But for basic education, you have some problem, many problem, right? You teach a kindergarten, you teach a primary education, primary school, secondary school, right? It's have many problem, right? And especially the curriculum. You know, in my country, so we have some people to turn, it's not turn off the microphone. Okay, don't worry. You know, in the basic education in my country, the curriculum, we use all of the country. It's for a long time for revision, right? So it's current curriculum. It's before COVID-19, right? It's before we have COVID-19. So maybe it's not suitable for this situation, right? But right now we have to look at this curriculum and decide for a learning management and also to assessment. So you have some problem, right? So look at here. I'll be sharing. I'm not sure about your country. Indonesia have a strategy, what strategy or policy of your government. For the government of Thailand, especially from Ministry of Education, we have to find main strategy for learning management. You know, it's not only 5 on, but also many. But it's 5 on is the main strategy for learning management. Is the guideline, is guideline for the primary teacher, is guideline for secondary teacher to manage their class. So it's not fixed. This one is many, right? So we have I think it's in Indonesia is like this or not. I'm not sure, but in Thailand we have a on site. Yeah, it's the traditional, right? On air, online, on demand, and also on hand. It's not the main. It's not the main. The principal, the stakeholder, the teacher, you can choose this one that you think is suitable for your context, right? It's up to you. For the first on site. Yes, this one is okay for some context, right? In my country, some area is safety, some area of Thailand it's like the small site school that located at the countryside. It's far from the city. It's a small community, right? They don't have the problems of the COVID-19. It's a small community. Yes, it is cool. You can to manage by the on-site learning. It's like the traditional. Yes, you can. But you know, if have a problems, if the principal to decision to use on-site learning, if have some problem, you have to responsibility especially for the principal or administrator to decision making, right? Okay, on-site is okay. In some area, it's okay, especially for the small size school that located in the countryside. Yes, this one is on air. On air is okay. You know about on air. It's for Thailand. We have on air before the COVID-19 situation, right? We have a DRTV, especially for the small size school that they lack of a teacher. You know, some schools, some small size school in Thailand have only one teacher. It's only one teacher. He is to be the principal. He is to be a teacher. He teach every subject. He take care of all of students in that school, right? It's very hard for him. So the government, we have a DLTV to help this school. If for the DLTV have the lesson, have a teacher to teach the lesson. It's many subject, right? A teacher have to turn on the television, a student sitting and to learning with the TV, right? Yes, this can help them, especially for the small size school that lacks of a teacher. It's not enough a teacher, but it has a problem, right? It's very hard that the student can to sitting to learning with the TV a whole day, right? I think that's the way, just for 20 minutes or the half of hours, they will bored. They will go outside. They are not interested about the TV, right? Because it's not they don't have the participate with the activity. So it's on air is the one of the main strategy to solving this problem. For the next, yes, it's online. I think this strategy we use for around the world, right? As we study via internet the real time. It's a good thing. It's a good strategy for online learning. But you know, it depends on many things, especially it's depend on about the readiness of students, right? Because it's depend on the infrastructure. Maybe they don't have a internet signal. They don't have a smartphone. They don't have a laptop, right? They are a poor family. So it's a big problem, especially for the primary school and secondary school. It's okay for some area, but for some area it's not okay. It have a big problem, right? Okay, but I think I for my country, the teacher, especially for the primary and secondary teacher, they try to learn more about how to preparing their lesson, their online lesson. It's okay. They have a more skill about to make the online learning. But it's not good for the all of students, right? Because in different contexts that they have to talk to all you already. Okay, for the next, it's on demand, right? Yes, it's on demand here. We use an application for learning, for student learning through various applications, right? So nowadays have a many applications. I think it's very good thing. Sometimes you don't need a teacher, don't need to construct or make application yourself. You can to use application. It's many, right? Have a many application. It's free. It's free. But it's depend on the infrastructure also. It's depend on maybe your student, they don't have a smartphone to learn about application. right? So the finally, it depends on the context, it depends on the readiness of the your student. And look at this one. It's on hand, right? It's on hand. Yeah. You know, it's very hard. Maybe the small size school that located in the countryside, you cannot to use online, on demand, on air, something like that. Yet you can to use on hand. The teacher, you have to go to the student house, student home, to give them about the document, like books, to give them about exercise, to give them about the worksheets. And for me, I think it's okay, but it's impossible if you go to your student this one and you teach them, you explain the lesson. You cannot do like that. You don't have enough time to do, right? Maybe some teacher, they make appointment with a small group of students. If they're located, is the live in the nearest house to some place to explain more, right? It's okay. Or maybe some case, the student, a teacher to go to the home of student and to talk with the parent, to help a teacher to teach them if it's not difficult lesson. It's okay for this one. But you know, for the policy of basic education in Thailand, we have a policy for a home visiting 100%. 100%. If a student in your class have a 20 students, a teacher have to visit student, all of them, in every student, to talk with the parent, to talk with the father, to their mother. Yes, I think it's very good thing. You will got information, right? You will know about the context of your student. Why? What happened? Something like that. It's very good information for learning management. You will know about the detail of them, right? So it's on hand, it's okay. Yes, in Thailand, a teacher, especially for the primary teacher, yes, almost all of them stay in that community, stay in that village, that a school located. They know about the parent. Yes, they know about the context of student. Okay, they give them about document to learn yourself. Maybe sometimes have a parents to help a teacher for explain. It's not a difficult lesson. It's okay for on hand. Okay, look at here. So for my country, we have a policy to changing a house or turning the house into the classroom and turning the parent into teachers. Yes, for me, this policy is really important. It can help the school, it can help the teacher, right? Because the student is not go to school, you stay at home, right? And if we change the parent to a teacher, it's very good thing for help a teacher to teach a student, right? To teach the children. But you know, in this policy, it's very good for some family, But in small side school, their father and their mother, all of them, is moved to the capital of Thailand. I mean Bangkok, to find a good job. They don't stay with the children, right? They don't stay with your student. they go to the capital or the big city to find a good job and send back a money to their family, right? So almost of them, the parent is grandpa and grandma, right? It's very hard to give a help from grandpa and grandma to explain the lesson. The grandpa and grandma can help students for take a shower, to give a meal to the breakfast, something like that. It's very hard for explain the lesson, to check about the assignment, to check about the examination. Impossible, right? So in this policy, it's very good thing. I think it's very good thing, but it's good for some context only. It's depend on the readiness. It's depend on the readiness of the parent, right? It's depend on the readiness of the family, right? But for me, you know about, I don't know about Indonesia have a law for homeschool or not, a law for homeschool. This one is wrong. It's wrong for homeschool. Yes, for my country have a law for the homeschool. If the parents have a readiness for learning management, you can do yourself. You can do, right? You don't need to send your student to learning with the teacher at the school, right? I think for the future, is have the parents is managed by the homeschool, because we have the law for support, right? Because in the COVID-19 situation, some parents, some family, they can teach their children themselves, right? It's okay. You after this, for the future, you don't need to send your student to school, have a high risk, right? For the COVID-19, if we cannot stop COVID-19 in the future, right? So the homeschool in the future, I think, is more in my country, right? So I think this policy, this strategy is okay, but it's good for some context only, for some family, right? Okay. So I will show you about, we have a survey about the problems during online learnings at home of Thai students. Have many problems. I think maybe it's like the same of your country, the same of Indonesian student, right? The first thing, they have a problems, the health problem about the eye pain, back pain, because they have to sitting a long time. This problem about 79%, right? So for the future, I think Thai students need to wear glass because they have an eye pain, right? They don't have a movement. You know, I think it's very seriously for the student. It's they're too young, right? It's very hard that sitting a whole day from the morning, maybe about 6 or 7 hours per day, right? To sitting, to learn with the online learning is many ways for teacher management, right? So this one will have some problem for them. And this one, you know, here, yes, they have a high stress and anxiety, especially for the children who are preparing to enter the high school or university, about 74.9%. Right? You know, in Thailand or Indonesia, I think we have a excellent high school and excellent university that many people, many students want to study. So it have a high competition, right? It's high competition. So when the student learning with the online learning, maybe they have stress or anxiety. Maybe anxiety have a anxiety stress to the depression, and finally have some people, some students to suicide, right? So it's bad news. It's bad news. They have anxiety and to depression and the suicide finally. It's many cases, right? Because they don't to have an activity with their friends. They can to go outside to traveling. They can to do many things, right? Okay, and this one have it's a big problem for the health problem of student. And this one, I'm not sure about your context Indonesia. Why? When the teacher use online learning, have a many, it's more homework, right? It's more homework and sleep. The student read and sleep less, about 71.6%. Right? Everything is changing. It's changing because it's not the on-site. It's not the traditional. The teacher use the online learning. About the assignment, you have to changing also, right? Have a 10 subject, have a 10 homework, right? They cannot to finish themselves. Seriously, it's serious for the learning and also serious about the homework also, right? They cannot to finish themselves. Look at here. Yeah. The parents, yes, have to help student. It's too young, right? It's too young. Have a more homework. It's not good for them. Maybe it's make about the negative attitude toward the homework or assignment for student, right? You don't need to give them a more homework. You can to use integrated, right? Integrated homework. One assignment is can show the outputs of many subjects, right? But you will to use integrated homework, a teacher, you have to planning together first, right? The principal or the administrator of the school, you have to give the policy. You have to inform a teacher in your school to planning about assignment, to planning about homework together, right? If you talk, you planning, yes, it is assignment. Yes, it's for, yes, we can to check about mathematics, right? Yes, also English, also science. It's many way, but the teacher, they don't talk or planning with another teacher, right? So it has a problem for the student, right? It's 61.6%. It's more homework. They don't like the homework. They don't like the assignment. A parent, a mother, grandpa, grandma have to learn back to learning, back to school again. Maybe have a conflict between the father and mother. It's your responsibility. You have to teach your children. You have to teach your son. You have to teach your daughter. It's not my duty, right? Yes, have the conflicts between the parent also about the homework. It's more a lot of homeworks, right? So I think a teacher have to planning together. But depending on the policy of the administrator or the principal, you have to give the policy first, right? It's okay. Look at here. Each ball of study is 68.3%. It's not only a student, but also a teacher. It's ball. It's like me. For my lifestyle, when I wake up, I take a shower, I go downstairs, I open my office room, I turn on my laptop, I go to drink a coffee, one coffee. and to teach online teaching a whole day, right? In every day. You know, I work in 7 days a week. I don't have a weekend. I don't have a holiday. I work 7 days a week doing online learning. I'm bored, right? So the student also that they are bored. You know, some students they learn with the lesson and play a game in the same time. Play a game in the same time. Maybe chat with their friends because it's bored, right? And this one, there is a little movement and exercise, right? 68%, right? That I have to talk to you already. It's not good for their health. Maybe have a obesity, a lot of weight, right? Because they don't have a movement. That's sitting on the chair and with the lesson, online lesson, right? It's not good for students. Yes. And this one? Yes. This one is the problem about the environment, right? The lack of the concentration, especially for students that their home is near, like is near factory, is near airport. Maybe when you teach your student, right, you have a noise of the chicken, right? Maybe you have the noise of construction, right? Yes, they don't have a concentration, right, to the online lesson. About 57.2%. And this one, not eating on time, is for 56%, right? Maybe when they have a continuous for the lesson, continue for activity, continue for to do the exercise, you follow up, right? They can't stop right now. Maybe it's not eating on time. It's make a problem about maybe a student got stomach ache, right? It was sick in the later, right? Okay, is that I show you about the problems of online learnings at home of student. I will show you about the concept of learning management before we will talk about assessment later. You know about how to assessment is depend on the learning management also, right? If you use learning management in this style, this format, you have to changing the assessment according to learning management, right? So we have to talk about this one first. The first one for learning management in COVID-19 situation, the teaching of the teacher, yes, with a variety of the format is many options, right? Is many options. So I have talked to you. We are educator. When you back maybe many years ago, you study in bachelor degree, right? You have a course about teaching method. You learn more about teaching method. This teaching method is suitable for this context, right? This teaching method is suitable for teaching context, right? You learn more about BBL, brain-based learnings, right? You learn more about active learning. You learn more about the project approach. You learn about many, right? You learn more about many. It's variety of the teaching. When you be a teacher, especially in this situation, you have to know about which one is suitable for this context, which one is suitable for this group of students, right? So you have to consider or concern about the age appropriate, right? In accordance with the situation and readiness. Yes, it's very important for readiness of student, right? If you teach in kindergarten school, your student is too young. Maybe their skill, ICT skill is not good, right? Yes. What the teaching method is suitable for them, right? And for the primary school, for the secondary student, it's different, right? It's for age. That I have to talk to you already. In the higher education, is adult education, it's okay. They can take care themselves. They have a high skill for ICT, for learning online learning. It's okay. So you have to concern, of course, at the age of the student first, right? And the next, you have to let the learner enjoy learning, right? Enjoy learning. Yes. You know, even though you use online learning, but you can to make your class it enjoy, really happy. What it depends on? It depends on your activity, right? It depends on your activity. Yes. I am a supervisor to, yes, I think all your supervisor to observe about the teacher-student class, right? Yes. In some class, it's very interesting. They have a many activity. A student is very happy, right? It's very happy, right? Maybe have a teacher apply its many application for their class. Have a board game, right? Have a game. It's many things. Many application. Interesting class. The learner or student it enjoy, right? If student enjoy with your class, it make them have a positive attitude, right? Support. You are a mathematics teacher. Oh, you have a many activity, interesting activities. You use application. You use the game, board game, something like that. Student happy. When student happy and enjoy, they will have a positive attitude, right? They love to learn mathematics. They think mathematics is not difficult. They think mathematics is easy. They think mathematics is interesting subject, right? If they have a positive attitude, it have effects, it have influence to the learning behavior. Learning behavior is good. If they have a good learning behavior, it's influence to achievement, right? They will got a high score of mathematics subject. They will understanding about the concept of mathematics, right? So yes, this one is very important thing. It's offline learning, online learning. You can make your class it enjoy. You can make your class it enjoy. It's depend on your activity that you decide, right? Reduce the lecture. The lecture is traditional way, right? But some teacher, it's the same. You just talk, right? In the monotone, it's not interesting class. Video lecture, but you design the interesting activity. Reduce screen learning, right? Screen learning, especially for the online learning. And this one, look at this one. It's really important in this situation to learn by themselves. It's focused on the practical. It's practical. You know, yeah, it's some subject is emphasized about the practice, right? You teach the physical education. You teach football. You teach volleyball, right? It's don't need to lecture. It's don't need to lecture, right? You teach agriculture. It's don't need to lecture. You can give them to projects or the assignment, right? Yes, you just brief a concept first. Just brief a concept first. And after that, they can learn themselves. They can to search information to do the project that you assign them, right? especially I show you about, you teach agriculture, you just brief the concept for them. If you want to grow a tea, you have to concern about the soil. You have to preparing a soil first, right? You have to water the tree. You have to you brief the concept, and after that, your student to search how to preparing a soil, right? How to water a tree, how to take care, look after a tree that they growing, right? Yes, they can to learn themselves and to practice themselves. You know, if they can practice themselves, they will got a skill, right? Skill. They don't know about the knowledge of growing a tree only, but they have a skill also. They have skill to grow a tree. It's very good thing, right? They don't need to learn with your class by online learning to talk to lecture. Don't do like that. Don't need. But you give them the project, you give them the assignment. But a teacher, you have to support them, monitoring. If your student have some problem, you can to help them. You can to help them, right? And then finally, they can grow a tree. Right? So it's variety of the formats, variety of the teaching method, right? It depends on the nature of the subject also. You teach English, right? You teach about the science. You teach about the music, right? Music. Yes, it's many way. It's many way. Maybe you tell them, oh, you find a way for practice your singing skill. You know, a student can to search the YouTube, have a many person to teach you about how to singing, right? How to sing a song, right? Yes, your student can to learn with the YouTube and practice for a singing skill. And finally, they send you a YouTube to show their singing skill. You know, did YouTube that to record when your student singing, it's empirical data. It's empirical data, right? Empirical data. Yeah, you can hear, you can watch the YouTube that your student send you, right? You can hearing, oh, you are a good singer. You is not good singer, right? It's empirical data, right? It's don't need to do the examination. It's not. So the teaching in the COVID-19 situation is, I think, is opportunity. It's opportunity to assignment, to variety. Yes, as well, right? And this one, arrange. You have to arrange the class schedule or timetable. Timetable or schedule of student is not the same. It's not the same of offline or on-site learning, right? You know, in some class, in some school in Thailand, the schedule of students is the same, right? They have to study a whole day according to the timetable. In every subject is on the timetable. It don't need to do like that. You have to check about the priority, right? It's priority that the student have to learn with the lesson in the timetable or schedule. Yes, it's okay. Have this subject in the schedule, right? But some subject you can separate to practice yourself, to practice. You don't to learn a lot with the timetable, right? So different. Okay. And maybe sometimes your student is learned by the worksheet or assignment. I have to talk to all you already, right? So the teaching is variety. Yes, I think all you can to design, right? But the variety of your teaching is depend on the context, right? In this word, it's really important. Your context, right? Context. It's many things that information inform you about for your choose the suitable or appropriate teaching method. It's okay. So I think maybe some teacher is they don't changing their mind. They don't changing the paradigm of the learning management in this situation, right? So it make students have big problem. We have to change it. We cannot to do in the same when before the COVID-19 situation, right? Okay, here I have to tell all you already about reduce the homeworks, the homework, yes, and integrated the homeworks, right? Yes, this one is very important, but it will occur or not, it depends on the principal, it depends on the administrator to planning. The principal, you have to inform your teacher in the school to planning together, right? Okay. Yes, I think this one is okay. It's the important things for us for the management your class. Okay. And the third, look at here, is learning management. It will change the role. The situation is changing. The role of teacher, parents, and the principal is changing also, right? You know about when we learning management, we have to focus on about who is stakeholder have a many stakeholder, right? About the teacher, about student is the direct customer, right? It's direct customer, student, the teacher, student, the parent, the administrator, the community is stakeholder to can help too. So in this situation, you have to change the role, right? Look at the teacher. Teacher to be the supporter. You have to support, promoter, facilitator, coordinator between teacher and student, and also between teacher and parent, right? The parent is a key man. Is a key man can help you everything if they have a readiness for help you, right? Because the student live in the home, they don't come to school, right? The parents can take care student for you, but you have to support her. And the important things, the teacher, you have to have a many way for communication. It's many way for communication with you and parent. You know, some class it's really hard to talk with teacher when the parent want to ask a teacher about their student. It's really hard to calling, to email, to line application. It's very hard. It's not respond, so it's not good, right? So a teacher, you have too many ways for communication with student to communicate with the parents. It's good. The role of teacher is supporter, right? Supporter. And look this one. We change the role of a teacher for the parents. Look at the parent. Yes. Parent is to help a teacher, promote the teacher for learning and also assessment, right? Assessment. I think the assessment from the parent is empirical data. Empirical data. Empirical data. You want to know about your student have a responsibility or not, help the parent to do everything right or not. You want to check about the public mind, something like that. Yes, the parents can to help you for assessment, right? It's empirical data. Right? And the role of parents to provide advice, coordinate, and consult with the teacher for the learner to develop. Provide environment. Yes, environment is important things for the learning, especially for online learning. You know, some family, like they have a three children, three child that learn with online learning, right? You have to manage the space for each student, right? The space, you have the space for learning, have space for learning. If you manage space, if the parent don't manage the environment, maybe have a problem, a disturb, right? Disturb, maybe have a loud noise. So you have to manage and to give them a space for learning. Yes, I mean environment, right? It's very good things for is the roles of the parents. For administrator, right? Yes, this one is very important for the administrator or the principal. You have to planning, right? Administrator, you have a new paradigm, have a good vision. You have a good vision, right? You have to planning and to use a participation of the stakeholder, right? You have to talk about the parent, you have to talk about the community, talk about the teacher, talk about the committee, the board of school, talk about students, and everybody that stakeholder is planning. If understanding about the planning, I think everything is going on, right? It's for plan, for support, everything to help the teacher, to help the parents to work together happily, right? Maybe you know about some class is the conflicts, even conflicts about the teacher and the parent, right? How about in your country? In my country, have a conflict. You know, yes, in some class have a line group of a teacher and the parents, right? Have a conflict, don't unhappy, they cannot work together. This one is not good, right? So it's depending on the role of administrator or principal. You have to manage everything and support all of them. Okay, supervisor, follow up. You have to follow up. You have to some problem or not. You have to hearing about all of them to give advice and to fix the problem for them. Okay, and management, everything is for efficiency based on this situation. Okay. So finally, I will talk about the educational assessment. If your learning management is clearly, assessment is clearing also, right? You know, the first thing, have some people, have some teacher concerned about the study hours or study time. Because like the curriculum in Thailand, it show about, if you are a mathematics teacher, the curriculum, the curriculum, it tell you about the student have to learn mathematics 200 hours per year, 100 hours per semester, something like this. When you are a science teacher, you read a curriculum. Oh, curriculum said that you have to teach them for science 200 hours per year, 100 hours per semester, like it. Don't worry about the counting study time, right? You can do counting the number, yes, that the lesson that taught by you. You can to count the number hours of self-learning of student, right? You have to counting the practice hours of student in the real life. Don't worry. No worry about the study time. Don't worry. Everything is flexible, right? Flexible. It's depend on the situation. Right now, it's COVID-19 situation. Everything is flexible. You know, we measure or assessment. Finally, we don't to check about pass or not pass. No. It's the most important. We just assessment for they improve or not. It's better or not. They understanding more, right? They have a positive attitude or not. They have a more skill or not. Yes, if they change to the better, I think it's okay. It's okay. It's not assessment for pass and not pass, sorry. For pass or fall, no. It's not the finally. It's not the most important for assessment, right? No worry about the study time. It's flexible.
Excuse me, Prof.
Yes.
Songsak.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to remind you that you have only 8 minutes left.
Yes, I know that. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I will try to finish my presentation. Don't worry. Thanks. Okay. For the second, yes, about the measurement. The learning outcome of a student. Yes, look at here. Before we assessment, you have to have the guidelines first. Hey, how to measure about your subject? You have to check about the knowledge, right? Hey, how to measure knowledge, how to measure the attitude, how to measure the skill, right? You have to planning first. You have to guideline, right? And decide first. So it depends on the situation and also depend on the teaching style or teaching management, right? It's correlation. And this one is very important. Exam score is not required only taking into account development to students. It's important. No, right now, the examination score is not the most important, right? That is supporter. It's supporter. So it have a many way for assess your student. Okay. The third, look at here. Look at here. Yes, here you assess based on learning activity that you assign your student, right? You have to planning first. Look at here, it's quality, right? This project is quality. If you talk with your colleagues about mathematics teacher, about English teacher, science teacher, agriculture teacher, right? You planning for this assignment. You can use this one to assess in many subjects, right? You can use this project to measure about English skill, vocabulary about plant, right? You can to measure about the skill for growing a tree for agriculture subject, right? Yes, you can to learn more about the knowledge of science, about the growings of tree, right? You can to measure about mathematics, about the heights of the tree, something that you can compare with, you can many things. So one activity or one performance you can to measure is many subjects, but you have to planning first. You have to planning with your colleagues first, right? It's okay. It's a good thing for measure in the COVID-19 situation for you give your student to do the projects. Yeah, but you have to planning first and to use the participation with the stakeholder. Yes, assessment is based on the cooperation between the teacher and the parents, right? Yes, I have talked already. Sorry. If you have a parent to help you for assessment, right? It's very good. But you have to inform them. You have to inform them first. What is their role? What is their role? How to communicate with you? Could you help me for observe your children behavior like this. Could you check about this assignment? It's simply for me, something like that. You have to inform them and to planning for how to communicate with the parents. It's very good things for assessment in this situation. Here, to checking a task, right? A pre-task, P-task. Yeah, you look at TBL, it's okay for this situation, task-based learning, right? To explain before the student to do tasks and monitoring. If you have some problem, student can to help them, right? And then finally, to feedback, to review, it's okay or not for improvement in the future. Right, task-based learning is very good for assessment in this situation, right? You sure about their perform as well? Yes, you can to observe learning behavior of your student, right? When you have online learning, such as they respond you or not, if you have a question, the answer or not. But you know, it's very seriously for me. Some class, just only me is turn on the camera. My student is turned off. I don't know about their behavior, but it's depend on your assumption, your activity, right? And this one is a good information for assessment also, right? Yes, look at this one. There's many things, many methods for assessment in this situation. Testing, yes, it's okay. Testing, but it's not the main, it's not the most important, but you can use testing. That's the context is suitable, right? You know, we use Google Form, right? It's Google Form. It's very, I'm very happy, right? It's a real time for checking score. Yes, you can to export to Excel to analyze the quality of your test, right? It's about the difficulty, about discrimination, about the reliability, right? So I think I will to inform the Google to improve Google Form, right? Google Form right now, they cannot to analyze the quality of tests, right? And I think the future, if you use Google Form, you will give information about the quality of your tests, difficulty, discrimination, reliability is okay or not, something like that. I think it's good thing for the future for testing by online testing, right? Portfolio, yes, it's authentic assessment, right? But you have to planning with your student to portfolio, how to collect their performance. Yes, it's for feedbacks for checking about this subject. Performance tests, right? It's very good. Yet I have to talk to all you already. To grow a tree, to play, to jogging, yeah, to exercise. You take a video clip for me about you grow a tree, you play a sport, something like that. Presentation. Maybe you have a presentation to report of your student in the online learning. It's okay. Or the oral tests. Yeah, you can use this one for oral tests. If a student in your class is a little bit, just a 10 or 20 student, it's okay for oral tests. You teach English. You are the English teacher. You want to check about the speaking skill. You use oral test. You talk with your student online, right? You can to make a score. You can to assessment. It's for have information to improvement your student in the future. Okay, so education assessment in this situation. Sorry. You have a many way, many methods, right? You have to choose the suitable, the best one. Then finally, I have to say one thing to concern about educational assessment for you. It's my opinion. Don't worry. You measure or assessment your student for improve, right? Evaluation and assessment is not to prove, but to improve. If your student improve, it's better. It's better. Have a know. It's better knowledge, attitude, skill. It's okay. Flexible. flexible. Everything is flexible. Don't fix, right? Whereas variety have many ways for assessment, right? Appropriate to context. You have to concern about your context and choose the best one. Don't stress too much, right? You know, when I teach student, coffee break, I play a guitar, I sing the song, yeah, for relax myself. You also don't stress too much. Do your best. If you do your best, I think you will got the good thing back. And then finally, life is the most important, right? Especially the life of your student is the most important, right? You have to concern this one first, right? Okay. So for me, I think it's finished the time for me from 9 to 10:15. I'm very happy to share with you here today. That's for the context of my country. I don't know about your context at Indonesia, but I think all you can to apply this concept that we have to discuss together after this for your duty in the future. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Professor Songsak, for the interesting and insightful lecture. Now let me guide us to the discussion and Q&A session. Bapak Ibu, itulah tadi materi dari Prof. Songsak. Selanjutnya yaitu kami buka sesi diskusi. Kami persilahkan kepada Bapak Ibu sekiranya ada pertanyaan atau masukan kepada Profesor Songsak. Untuk pertanyaannya bisa disampaikan langsung dengan angkat tangan dan berbicara dengan Prof. Songsak atau bisa ditulis di kolom chat.
The question, or you can to discuss in everything about assessment in this situation, right?
Mas Febri,
Pak
Panji, raise hand, Mas Febri.
Oh ya? Yeah? Mas Panji, okay?
Yes, Mas Febri, it's me. Okay. Thank you, Mas Febri, to give me a chance here to have some discussion. And then, Mr. Songsak, may I try to discuss something with you?
Yeah.
Based on my experience before, when we are teaching, it's a difficult situation actually for the teacher itself. We believe that some teacher will feel confused when they want to do some assessment to their students itself. But in my own experience here, when I try to teach my students or do some teaching and learning process, the students, maybe some of them will get interested with our explanation, our topic. Some of them we don't know, but some of them. And then as the teacher, we try to do some teaching and learning process, and we try to assess it. But then in the final of the learning and teaching process here, we got some different score. I mean different score here. In the teaching and learning process, they are active actually. They got lower score for the other students. But in the final of the assessment, I got the stuff before the students maybe who are not active in the teaching and learning process, but they got some higher score in the assessment. Maybe based on Mr. Songsak here, we would like to have your opinion about how to solve this problem actually, to teach their students and to assess.
Yes, thank you so much. Maybe have some the signal. I have not clear question some word, but I think you asked me about the problems of when you assess your student, right? You assess your student, okay, and maybe some student they don't concern about to testing or your assessment, right? They have a low score, right? Have a low score. That you seriously, because if the student is low score, it show about your teaching also, right? But I will to discuss to you, you know, in every class, it's not absolutely. everything in the world. It's not absolutely. But I show you, if you do your best, if you do your best, it has some problem, right? It's many problem, but you do your best. You try to, the student is done to attend your class. How to do this one? How to? It's many way. If you do your best, I think you will got the best thing back, right? But you know, I have talked to all you already. Maybe it's about the learning management or learning assessment. It's not one for all. It's not one for all, right? Right. Maybe sometimes it's you use Google form for testing. Maybe sometimes it's good. You know, yesterday, let's say I have a class. I have a Google form. Some students, if they is far from me, have a problem of internet signal, right? Before they press the submit, the internet signal is have problem. I don't got their answer. So how to do after this? Oh, it's many way. It's many things that you can to measure them. It's different from another student, right? So you can use many things for give them score. It's not from the test only. And you don't need to compare. You don't need to compare between students, right? You don't need. You just to see them. If them have a better, if them improve, right? If you measure them and you give them to inform about, you will better. If you do like this, from you use the result from your assessment to inform them to improvement. I think it's okay. It's okay for improvement. You don't use in the same instrument to compare between students. No worry. In this situation, I think just for improvement each student, and you try to use a many way, and you do your best. It's not absolutely in the real world. Okay, I think it's okay. Your concern about your student is very good thing. no one for all, right? No one for all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Panji, and the answer, Prof. Songsak. Okay, we have maybe one more questions. If you have one more questions, jika ada pertanyaan lagi, Bapak Ibu, bisa langsung berbicara dengan Prof. Songsak.
All you is master degree student, right? Danny. Any question?
Pak Nur Solihin, apakah ingin bertanya?
Okay, Mr. Songsak.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you. Okay, we have a lot of problem in our education in Indonesia, especially in the my position is now as a teacher and in senior high school. So we have a lot of problem about the validity of the result when we are conducting an online test. So from your presentations, we know that the test is not, the assessment is not only about the test, about the score. The assessment or the evaluation is all in the term of how we takes the data about the student competence achievement, like that. So we have tried to conduct whatever that you have present to us, but we have a problem with a kind of a P6 or maybe sports lessons, just like that. So when we are asking the students to practice about maybe a special move or a gym or everything else, we really worry about their safety. So sometimes we try to avoid the risk, just asking them to not on not the hard things, just like that. So maybe you have some advice to our school, or maybe especially for our school and generally for Indonesians educations. Okay, that's it, Prof. Songsak.
Thank you so much for your question, and tell me about your situation. You know, it's not only Indonesia, but also around the world. Every country have some problem like you. I will show you about the last presentation, last slide. I show you life is the most important, right? Life is the most important. It's more achievement important, but it's not the most important. Your student life first, right? That I have to tell all you about everything in the world is not absolutely includes achievement, right? But we are our area is educational research and evaluation. We have to lead there to tell the people, to tell a teacher, primary teacher, a high school teacher like you, yes, how to measure all of them, right? That you show me about the sport, right? You teach sport, right?
No, I'm a vice master.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, that I know about the problems, but our area assessment, measurement, evaluation. You know about this method. This one is suitable for this context, right? This method is suitable for this context, right? That I answer your friends before here. You don't need to got achievement to compare between students, right? To got grade A, B, don't do better. To pass or fall, no, don't do better. I think for this situation, we concerned about improvement. You know the philosophy of evaluation that we have to learn about in the world. Evaluation or assessment is not to prove, like it's not to prove, but to improve, right? To improve. You try, you do your best, to improve them. You look at the curriculum. You look at the curriculum or the goal setting, right? In the subject that is your responsibility. And after that, to planning, how to learning management, right? How to learning management. It's not one for all, but you have to choose the best one. Maybe in some case you have a different learning management, right?
Right.
And after that, you measure, you assess, you look back to the curriculum again.
Yeah.
But you just to show about the mathematics knowledge is better or not. Is better or not. They understand or not. You can use Google Form, you can use portfolio, you can use performance test, you can use assignment, you can use a worksheet, you can many things to feedback, to measure the student. Maybe you have 20 students, it's different. Maybe it's different method to measure, but in the same goal, right? In the same goal for measure, in the same variable, but different method for assessment. It's don't need that you use in the same assessment method in all of students. Don't need to do like that. It depends on the context. It depends on your case study, right?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Songsaks.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that was an interesting discussion that we have, but unfortunately, we have limited time because Professor Songsak has to leave early because he has another lecture. But before you leave, would you kindly to have a photo session with us, Prof. Songsak?
Yeah.
Oke, nah, Bapak Ibu sekalian, Prof. Songsak izin untuk meninggalkan meeting karena memiliki agenda lain. Tetapi sebelum itu, kita mendapat kesempatan untuk berfoto bersama. Pada Bapak Ibu sekalian, diharapkan menyalakan kamera. Oke. Dan untuk panitia, kami minta tolong untuk melakukan dokumentasi. Terima kasih.
Mas Arta, mungkin? Ya. Mas Arta, monggo pengambilan gambar.
Oh, baik. Sepertinya gambar sudah diambil oleh Mas Meldi. Begitu, Pak Solhin?
Oke.
Oke, gitu. Oke, thank you once again for Prof. Songsak for the insightful discussion that we have today.
Thank you so much for
Thank
organizing.
you, Mr. Songsak.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Mas
Thank you.
Songsak. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, see you. See you next time. See you again.
Thank you.
Mr. Songsak.
Yeah, thank you so much. We will meet again and
Yes.
okay, have a many activities to do together in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
You.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับ
Baik, demikianlah Bapak Ibu rangkaian acara Guest Lecturer Magister Research and Educational Evaluation Study Program dengan topik Challenge in Educational Assessment in COVID-19 Situation. Semoga informasi dan diskusi kita pada hari ini dapat membawa kemajuan pada perkembangan asesmen di situasi pandemi COVID-19 saat ini. Saya Febri Dani Triwibowo, alumni Prodi Penelitian dan Evaluasi Pendidikan UNES, selaku pembawa acara mengucapkan terima kasih dan mohon maaf apabila ada kesalahan selama membawakan acara. Sampai jumpa dan terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Febri.
Bun, Mas Febri.
Mas Hatta, tolong diinformasikan Mas Hatta.
Ya, Prof.
Diumumkan peserta untuk absen, jangan lupa.
Kami persilakan Bapak Ibu seluruh peserta untuk dapat mencantumkan atau mengisi daftar hadir yang sudah dibagikan di kolom chat. Untuk sertifikat akan dikirimkan melalui alamat email yang dicantumkan atau dapat membuka melalui link yang sudah dicantumkan pula di dalam kolom chat. Dan kami hanya membatasi pengisian daftar hadir selama 15 menit sejak sekarang. Jadi kami mohonkan untuk Bapak Ibu dapat mengisi segera daftar hadir kegiatan pada hari ini.